Kick back and eyes front, because The View is live. Trump and Kim Jong united. What North Korea and America promised in the historic Singapore summit. And what was left out. Roseanne reboot? Why former showrunner Whitney Cummings says it shouldn't happen. But will this punish the wrong people? Then, an emotional story of hope and survival. A single mom who became homeless got a second chance at life.
I was told I wasn't gonna be anybody. I wasn't gonna mount up to nothing.
And what she did with it will make you cheer. Let's go! Hot Topics are in the house with Whoopi, Sarah Haynes, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and McCain. Now, let's get things started.
See, Joy Behar is back at the table, but she has a warning, and I think you should all listen up because it's important. That Joy.
No. Well, why I was out.
Why were you out?
Because Saturday night, on my way to the event at the retreat, I stabbed myself in the hand with a knife. I was trying to desperately eat something, so I was trying to open up an avocado. And I stuck the knife into the pit to get it out. Steve says, why don't you use a spoon? All right? And I stabbed myself. Well, I never had pain quite so intense. It was awful. But the reason I'm telling this to you, I always, first of all, I fall. I'm very active. Steve says I'm an auto-terrorist. Like, I do it to myself. But apparently there is a syndrome called avocado hands.
Yes.
Yes, I know, it sounds
real.
fun. It's real. And the doctor said, oh, we get this all the time.
Yeah.
And bagels also. So anytime you're holding the item and you try to cut it, you could get this.
risk bagel
So
hands.
what happened was, I guess there must have been an infection. They put me in the hospital overnight.
Yes.
Every 6 hours, I'm on a drip, antibiotic drip, etc. And now I'm better. My finger was, I said, doctor, I need this finger.
Joy, whenever you find yourself
Because you
cutting...
can lose it, by the way.
Whenever you find yourself cutting something where this is the something and this is the knife, it's probably just a dangerous approach.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we thought this might help you too. I got you a safety glove.
that's
Because,
good.
girl, I would not in a little avocado.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice of you. I think it could go through. I was thinking instead of this, I'm going to leave the dicing to Rachel Ray, and I'm only going to buy ready-made guacamole. That's it. Thank you.
I was shocked
Thank
when I texted you and you were in the hospital. I was shocked.
And Meryl Streep apparently had this too.
Oh, listen, people always make this mistake because people think, oh, I can open things like this and I'll hold it, or I can take the top off and then I'm going to get the... No.
This movement is never good.
This movement with a knife,
a pointing,
and it's your hand underneath.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
You know, just assume you know what can happen.
Yeah.
Poop can happen.
Well,
if you don't take that, scoop it out with a spoon.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to know you're using a spoon.
Famous last words, said Steve.
Right.
Use a spoon.
Yeah.
Use the spoon.
Now, speaking of history being made,
Use a spoon.
last night or yesterday, history was made in Singapore when North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and the guy in the White House signed a very broad pledge to denuclearize the Korean peninsula. It's a little bit short on details, but is this a step in the right direction? Can we take Kim Jong-un at his word? And can we take the guy in the White House at his word? Because both words sometimes are fluid.
There's two schools of thought on this. A few months ago, we were all sort of living in fear of nuclear war between the United States and North Korea. And I was a proponent of taking the meeting because I'm always a proponent of going and meeting with your adversaries. The deal, as you said, Touché, Joy. I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. So what I was going to say is that when the deal came out, it's very nebulous. It's just all about denuclearization, which, by the way, that has happened in 1985, 1992, 1994, 2005, and 2012. I had a really big problem. You guys know how I feel about the flag. With the American flag and the North Korean flag sit next to each other as the backdrop, we are not the same. And we were talking about this yesterday with Russia. This is a totalitarian communist dictator, in the same vein as Hitler, who, by the way, among all murder, enslavement, torture, imprisonment, sexual violence, starvation, forced abortions, political, racial, religious persecution, it is a completely and utterly the closest thing to Hitler's Germany that exists in modern times. So my problem was how far it went with the sort of buddy, and there was no talk whatsoever of the human rights violations going on in that country.
That was a big problem. I agree with Meghan in the sense that I thought, a meeting is appropriate, although a meeting without any preconditions and much preparation I thought was inappropriate. And what bothered me the most was that earlier last week Trump said he didn't have to prepare very much for the meeting because it was all about attitude. Well, it's not all about attitude. We're talking about nuclear diplomacy, and I think that it's very complicated, and I think it requires a tremendous amount of preparation for it. And we know that Kim Jong-un has been in power since 2011, and he's very prepared. And so I felt that our country wasn't as prepared as it should be.
But isn't this really just a first date? I mean, they're just, they're just meeting, and then they'll do more, and then they'll do more, and hopefully it'll get there.
When the president shows up, it's supposed to be more of the big kahuna. This was the beginning of maybe some rollout. I'm cautiously optimistic.
We can't undersell how historic it is.
It was very,
just even getting him to the table is, I never thought I would see this in my lifetime whatsoever. So I give Trump credit for this. It's just that it was they've got great, we can put real estate in North Korea. It's people are being starved and tortured and raped and killed by, machine gun outlets and being eaten by wild dogs. This isn't the type of, you don't even have internet access. How are you supposed to have
This was tricky to walk in line because he was advised not to take on the human rights issues and the denuclearization because they said you might be pushing him, Kim Jong-un, too far to agree to anything. But I do think they went too far with the symbolism because it did look buddy. There's a more measured language.
The movie was a little much. I found the movie a little bit much. Before
it was a trailer.
Yes, it was a trailer for the world as it could be. I think that was how they sort of put it together. But take a look.
Destiny Pictures presents a story of opportunity, a new story, a new beginning, one of peace, two men, two leaders, one destiny. A story about a special moment in time when a man is presented with one chance that may never be repeated. What will he choose? To show vision and leadership? Or not?
And so the other thing was, as you read the list of times that this conversation has come up. So it's not that people haven't been trying, because when I listened, and I actually listened to a lot of it, when he was saying, no one's done this, I can't just say Obama, nobody's had it, and it's like, no, dude, everybody's tried to do this, and everyone has said, listen, we tried to do this, they stepped away from the table, they said we're not going to do it. So that's why I asked the question,
Nobody had the meeting, though. That is the historic difference.
Donald Trump said, if I'm wrong, I will admit it. Yeah, right, when pigs fight.
When did he ever admit that he was wrong? Albright came on our show and talked about her meeting with Kim Jong-un's father, and she said a lot of promises were made, and while she was there, they were enriching their uranium at the same time. So to believe that Kim Jong-un is going to give away his nuclear arsenal, which really gives him the power, I think we went too far, and perhaps giving him validity.
Yet, so we haven't gone too far.
Validity.
We haven't gone too far because nothing's happened yet.
You said I think we went too far by meeting with him.
So now we went too far by even meeting with him.
I think I think the president meeting with him without any preconditions certainly gave him the credibility that he wants.
But it could have gone worse,
and that perhaps was going a little too far.
This meeting could have been more clear and could have gone better. The fear was that it would go worse. It would end in defiance, and even though this was symbolism and handshaking. Meghan, what you're saying? Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Later, kill the comedy? Former Daily Show host Jon Stewart said his anger over politics made him leave the anchor chair. Does America need a little comic relief right now? Come on!
Come on!
You know this is the only place in daytime dishing out the hottest topics.
We try to let y'all know what's happening as we're seeing it.
It's okay to be strong and angry. I'd rather be strong than sweet.
Nailed it.
That's my opening statement if I'm a prosecutor.
Boom, case made. I'm sick of it.
She's sick of it.
So grab your phone and join the conversation.
We don't shy away from hard things on this show.
Yes! Yes! And don't miss The View on ABC. Later, a single mom shares her emotional journey from homeless to hero and how she's changing the lives of her community's children.
Welcome back. TMZ caught up with the former showrunner of Roseanne, Whitney Cummings, and asked what she thought about rebooting the sitcom without Roseanne Barr. Take a look.
My heart's broken about it, so I don't really have words at the moment, but maybe they can salvage the legacy in some way, but if it benefits her financially...
it's a bad move, right?
Yeah, it's a bad move.
So ABC execs also say they'll only proceed if Roseanne has no creative or financial involvement in the reboot. Wouldn't they know, though?
Well, it's probably in her contract. Whether she's, because she created the character. I don't know if the character's not there, maybe she doesn't get any money. That's all right, she can go back to her nut farm in Hawaii.
I've been torn over this because what she said was so horrible and crass, what she tweeted out, but so many people lost their gigs. So many people lost their livelihoods. And I just remember when the Cosby Show was pulled from everything, and I had a long talk with Raven, and it's like that affected everyone when it was pulled. So now Raven doesn't get the royalties that she would get for work that she did. So if there is a way for this reboot to happen, or for the old, what about the old Roseanne?
The reruns.
The reruns.
The reruns, I believe, were snatched off.
They were. And so I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, should they be snatched off? And then
like what punishment fits the crime?
Yeah.
They should put another character like Roseanne, like Rosie O'Donnell, let's say. She could play that. I could see that.
Well, I don't know who wrote the original
I think Roseanne
material,
created
so
it.
I don't think you can pull
She created
her.
the character.
She created the character.
Actually, Matt Williams, a friend of mine, he actually was involved in the creation. He got a big payout, but she threw him off. She acted.
Couldn't you do a spin-off without Roseanne? Like write the story a different direction? Like she goes on a long vacation to Hawaii.
To Hawaii, so her nut farm.
It was an eponymous show, though. I mean, this was her show.
Well, and it was their show. It was their show. It was the family show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, they do it all the time. You know, somebody is crossing the street and maybe they get hit by a car or something, and then, you know, the character's no longer there or something happens.
Remember when they did that with Bewitched, where they suddenly put a different Darren?
I didn't like that.
It was like,
there was a different Darren.
I didn't like that.
You know, but so there are ways to do it, but we'll see what happens. It would be nice to reboot it and maybe call it something else.
Yeah.
Well, we talked also about I would love to see the essence of the show, which I said I like the show. I watched it. Being like a middle America, red state family being portrayed on TV as well, which I think is why it was so popular in the middle of the country. Whitney Cummings came on the show when you were out on maternity leave, and she guest hosted, and we had so many guest hosts, and I was so impressed with her. She really sticks out as one of my favorites. And in this video, she's coming from the airport, coming off a plane, and she's clearly upset. I mean, and when you see the whole thing, I think TMZ's caption was, it looks like she has PTSD from the experience. And I think when you work on TV shows or anything where it's like a family, like campaigns, when something goes so bad and it's forever reflected, it's on her Wikipedia page, she's going to have to answer this for the rest of her life. And it's not right. It's not right that Whitney Cummings is held...
to see a blue-collar show that shows people who like Trump, who voted for Trump, and what his policies are doing to the family. That's a show I would watch.
But I thought that's what that was supposed to be.
No, not really. because Roseanne was a Trump supporter, and that was not going to happen in this series.
Lori Metcalf was a Hillary Jill Stein supporter too. That's what I liked about it, too, is it showed the division that happened in so many families and relationships, and that, you know, basically so many people having their lives broken apart.
Well, you know, there's a lot of precedents for this. You know, we've had, you know, Everybody Loves Raymond. There's been a lot of great families that won the King of Queens.
Three's Company. Did they swap out
all in the family.
There's a blonde woman.
Yeah, they swapped out Chrissy and All in the Family.
Right? No, Three's Company.
Right, different conversation. Different.
I didn't like that.
It's all right. We'll be right back.
I'm there with you.
Still feeling the Oprah effect? Get to viewyourdeal.com now, because we partnered with vendors for at least half off everything. Don't miss out.
Hey, welcome back. Journalist Charles Krauthammer, I guess I have to say conservative journalist, he's a journalist to me, wrote a moving letter revealing that his cancer has returned. Doctors have given him weeks to live, and, quote, "This is the final verdict. My fight is over." Meghan, you called him an inspiration.
Yeah, I grew up watching him. He's the greatest political commentator of my generation, easily. He's an icon. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner. His voice has been so important right now because he was always so fair to Trump supporters and to the never-Trumpers and to everything in between. He was always measured. He was never overly emotional. And he really understands the pulse of conservatism. I'm sorry. I feel like God's giving everybody I love in politics cancer, and I just am going to miss him a lot. And he has weeks to live, and
He's not gone yet.
He's not gone yet. He just, you know, he had been out for a while. He was on Brett Baer's show almost every night, and his voice is really missing. And at this moment in time, it's going to be really, really difficult. I wish him and his family the best. You were right. He has not gone yet, thank God.
That's right.
But it's rough news.
The good ones. Your father is sick, and this guy's sick.
It's so, it feels for me just the timing is so hard because I so need people like Charles Krauthammer right now.
He said that Trump suffered from derangement syndrome.
Yes, he was very fair, and called shots and strikes like he saw it with Trump. And you know, it's hard for those of us who are speaking on both sides and trying to still keep the pulse of rational conservatism and also understand and be empathetic toward the Trump voter, which he did masterfully.
You know, McConnell's radio silence on all of this. The guy attacks Canada and embraces, you know, Russia, and nothing from Mitch McConnell. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace, Mitch McConnell. And the rest of them who
So here's the rest of the news. White House Chief Economic Advisor Larry Kudlow is also recovering from a heart attack that he suffered yesterday, and we wish him well.
Yeah.
And Daily Show host Trevor Noah said he spoke to Jon Stewart right after he announced he was leaving the show and asked him why. Stewart told him it's because he's too pissed off to laugh. So what's happening in America? Because you can't make jokes about it or anything.
Well,
so is it getting harder to make jokes with no consequences? Is it that the consequences don't fit the joke? I mean, what's happening?
Maybe it's hard to find humor in.
Well, there's plenty of humor in Trump. He makes jokes. He makes himself a laughing stock every day. It's just that it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And he was there. Jon Stewart was there for 16 years. That's longer than my first marriage. Okay. So he was burnt out, I think, and tired of the whole thing. And he only talked politics. Luckily, we have other subjects here.
Yes.
The Bachelorettes.
We have the Kardashians.
The Kardashians.
There's always a time to go, and I think when you stop seeing the joy in your job, or you're letting yourself get, you know, cynical or bitter, that spills down from the top. And when the show is you and all the people around you are still hopefully loving their jobs, I think it was a good call to say, I can't do this right now.
What do you think, Whoopi?
You know, look, I go out. I'm getting ready to do Detroit, I think, over the weekend. And I talk less about politics because of what we do every day. And so I talk about the fact that, you know, sometimes when you're walking down the street and you have a little poot-poot and nobody knows that you're doing it, that you hit a certain age and a green mist comes up behind you and identifies the fact that you have been poot-pooting walking down the street. We'll be right back.
DC.
You know, we talk about a lot of different things on this show, and you know why people do the things they do, and we just came across something in a website called Elite Daily. It's a lifestyle website, and the woman was talking about the shallow reasons that people date, and one of them is because they don't have air conditioning. So they will date someone, I guess, during the summertime, whose house is nice and chill. I mean,
Dating
anybody?
For convenience.
Well, yeah. I mean, they date people because they have good vacation homes.
Yeah.
I mean, need to date up a little.
Right?
I'm married.
But is this?
I do have a friend that's a nurse, and you know, she's on her feet a lot, and so she was dating a masseuse. And apparently
Wait,
he
that's
gave
like the Seinfeld episode, though.
Really?
You can never get a massage. Like, you try over and over, and they don't actually.
He actually, like, had a massage table, and he was such a jerk.
I'd date
and I
for
was
that.
just like, but he's such a jerk. She's like, he gives really good foot massages. I was like,
Can we call that a form of prostitution? Do you think?
I know.
Sex for money?
But I dated a
Sex
guy
for air
one time
conditioning?
Well, we're not
recently.
putting out. They might be nuzzling.
Oh, come on.
But sometimes you date people just because, like, well, I remember when I was single, especially when I was living in LA, that I would, like, just go out with almost anybody if they asked me, because I wanted to, you know, dating is all about meeting new people. And there was one guy that I didn't like him at all, and I thought he was very arrogant, but I really liked that he picked me up on his date on his motorcycle. And he kept picking me up on his motorcycle, and I liked riding around on it. So that was the only reason I kept. It didn't. Ultimately, you have to be able to talk and convene and have a conversation. But we went on a few dates, and it was always like, get on the back, Meghan. I liked it. So there you go.
My mom get on the back, Meghan.
Yeah.
My mom in college said she used to go on dates just to get a meal because she was paying for, you know, college herself. So she'd go for a hamburger.
Yeah.
And this isn't dating, but I used to love to go to the friend's house who had the best pantry. You know, the family that had the best snacks?
Yes.
That's always the house I went to.
Yeah.
And that's not prostitution.
I don't think they're talking about that. They're talking about girls moving in because there's air conditioning.
Well, I mean, if what I'm saying is extrapolate. If he has a great pantry, I might come
Or he's a really good cook, like a chef.
What about you?
You might date someone.
Nah.
No.
We always made our own money. I'm sure everyone here can relate. So we don't need that.
You won't want to get on a fun motorcycle?
I had a motorcycle. I had to stop riding because it's in the contract. You know.
You can't ride a motorcycle in your contract?
No, ice skating.
Why?
I guess they don't care if I die.
Yeah. I was to say, I don't have that in mind.
It's
Really?
There was a spate of motorcycle accidents in the sort of early 90s, right? Because everybody had a bike, and somebody opened the door, and you know, it's the biggest thing to knock motorcycles off the road is somebody opening the damn door. So a lot of actors got injured, had to shut down films. So it just became part of everyone's rider. No motorcycles, a whole bunch of stuff.
Cyclists also
Meghan, you can't work in the movies.
Well, she can now, but then no. But you know what? There's more. We'll be back.
A struggling single mom turned savior to her entire community is about to get a very special surprise delivery. We're live in Texas next. This week, can you even handle all the View's hot topics?
Yes, we can.
And just look who's coming to hang with the ladies. John Hamm, Kelly Preston, Vanessa Kirby, Holly Hunter, Greg T. Nelson, and Ed Helms.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's all this week on The View.
BC.
There is so much bad news in the headlines today. We want to spotlight the good people who are quietly changing their communities and their world. I want you to meet one woman whose story literally knocked me out of my bed. Take a look. Just outside of Dallas, Texas, you'll find Sulphur Springs, a rural community with a population of 16,000. And like so many towns, drugs and broken homes are commonplace. Latita Conliff grew up in the throes of that environment and couldn't escape its grip.
My relationship with my mom was not a relationship. She could never tell me she loved me. She'd always write it on a piece of paper. but never said, I love you. I was told I wasn't gonna be anybody. I wasn't gonna amount to nothing. So that made me lash out. That made me start running away from home. I got into drug life. I started skipping school. Lo and behold, I got pregnant. I didn't have anywhere to go, so I started living on the streets.
Latita and her baby daughter were homeless. After losing a friend to drugs, Latita knew she was the lucky one. She had a second chance. And what she did with that second chance was something rather extraordinary. Latita created a daycare and after-school program called Lil Four's Kids Club, a safe haven for children.
These kids go through so much. The drugs, the child abuse, domestic violence, teenage pregnancy. Sometimes they don't have water, food.
And the kids come after school for a hug, a hot meal, and a place to lay their heads, whatever the reason. Latita is a mother, counselor, caretaker, and a source of strength.
I do this for these kids because what I went through.
With just a skillet and a crock pot, Latita manages to feed between 30 to 50 kids a day.
I just want to give them a chance in life and let them know whatever you go through, let Miss Latita go through it with you.
And while Latita has dedicated her life to these kids, she is still struggling to keep her head above water. There are mounting monthly bills and the overwhelming costs of food and clothing and the basic necessities for the kids.
If I have $20 for that day, I know I can take that $20 and turn it into where I can feed all my kids.
Latita has gone through her life savings to keep those doors open, and she says she will never turn her back on a child who needs her.
My mission is to mentor these kids to want to go off to college, want to be something.
Thank you, Latita, for showing me who I can be and for not turning it back on me.
God gave me a second chance, and that second chance was to those kids.
We just love you, Miss Latita.
Please welcome Latita Conley. Stay. No, you sit. This is for you. This is for you. All right, come on. Oh, and I just wanted to say that something made me pay attention. It came on 2-3 times. It was like, look. And then I opened my eyes and I was knocked out. You're a rarity in a country filled with rarities. And you're going to help remind people who they can be, the best of them. Yeah. That's what you do.
Well, you're not, this clearly isn't a job for you. It's your entire life. Yeah. Can you tell us about that?
I love, when I started out with the Little Fours, you know, I always thought I wouldn't amount up to anything. And I started that devil. You know, I weighed my negative to a positive. And I started this because there's so many people out there, so many kids that seek for this love that they don't get at home. They might be around their family, but do we really know our kids? Yeah. Do we really know what's going on in their mind?
Right.
We don't.
Yeah.
We let social media take over our kids' life, and we don't know that social media is killing our kids day by day.
To give everyone an idea of how much you do in a teeny weeny, when I tell you this is a teeny weeny space, it's like this big. we have a live shot of Little Forest Club and Sean Giggy, a reporter from our Dallas affiliate, WFAA. He's on site. Now, Sean, I first saw your piece on Latita, which got my attention. Who are you standing there with?
Well, you know, Little Forest is named that way for a reason, and this is the reason. Latita named this place after her 4 daughters. We have 3 of them here right now. Yes, 3 of her daughters, her son, and some of the volunteers here. You know, just, they're all out here to support Latita, a wonderful woman, as we've already seen.
Hey, Sean, what's that? What is that truck in the back? What is that?
Well, you know, Whoopi, that truck has been here all morning, and I still have no idea why, but I think we might be able to find out. This is Mabry Jackson from HEB, and Mabry, I think that truck belongs to you, right?
It sure does. Good morning. We are so thrilled to be here today. We heard Latita knows how to stretch a dollar, and so we came today to fill her pantry. And we're going to fill that pantry to last through the summer and on into the holidays.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. But something tells me you might be able to help fill that pantry beyond the holidays.
We certainly are. In addition to the filling we did today, we're going to provide Little Forest Kids Club with an additional $10,000 to get us through the holidays and also to keep those pantries filled.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you guys, and thank you, HEB, for helping out. It's just an amazing morning out here. How does it get better than this?
Hi, Sean. It's Sarah. I think I see another truck in the background.
Yes, you do, actually. That's a good eye from there. My vision is terrible, so I can't even see that from here. But that truck is here because of Eric Neal from the Jarrell Company. And Eric, how's it going this morning?
Good, Sean. How are you? Good. Hello, Latita and Whoopi. Yeah, so absolutely. That's a truck from the Jarrell Company. And we heard the story, Latita, that you were cooking for 50 more children with simply a crock pot or a skillet. And so once the Jarrell Company heard that, we got with our friends at GE Appliance and got you some new appliances to do the job. We've got you a new washer, dryer, refrigerator, range, dishwasher, all to help you keep doing your good work here in the community of Surface Change Specialists.
Absolutely incredible. Literally everything but the kitchen sink. And speaking of all those new appliances, you know, this is a small space, Latita. You're going to need a place to put those, and this is already packed. So to find out where we're going to put them, this is Kevin Otto from Seconds and Surplus. Kevin?
Hey, Whoopi. Hey, Latita. The Seconds and Surplus is going to provide you with a new kitchen, and here's what it's going to look like. New kitchen cabinets, new countertops, faucet, sink, shelving, and a new kitchen island.
That's absolutely amazing. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you, everybody that has donated time and resources today. But we have one more surprise before we wrap this up. As everybody who's been to Texas knows, this summer heat can be brutal. And because of that, our friends at Goodman Manufacturing are giving you a brand new air conditioning system for your building. So congratulations, Latita. You deserve everything. Thank you so much for everything you've done.
Thank you so much, Sean. And we also want to give a huge thanks to Mark Maxwell, city manager of Sulphur Springs, who's been secretly working overtime behind the scenes to make this kitchen makeover happen.
It's so worth it.
But, you know, there's more. There's more. Latita, we have a few people in the audience that we want you to meet. Where is Michelle Moran? Michelle, tell us why you're here.
Well, first of all, you're an angel and you're an inspiration. I'm a single mother. I raised my son on my own. I'm also the founder of Skinny Skincare, where it's wearable skincare fabrics. We're donating baskets to the kids and yourself. The fabrics will soothe, smooth, and renew them all day long, all evening. And we're also giving you $20,000.
But wait, there's more. Grace. Tell me how to do it.
Grace Alea.
Grace Alea. She's also got something special.
Yes, so a few years ago, all the hair on the back of my head broke off because I didn't think there were enough stylish solutions to protect your hair when you're going out. And so I created the satin line cap or slap cap as that stylish solution. So what we'd like to do is gift you with satin line caps, so you and your kids, as well as bless you with $20,000.
Hold up for a second. There's more. And finally, Please meet Casey Kelly. Casey, tell us what you're doing.
Hi, I'm Casey Kelly, and I'm the owner of Blended Designs. A year ago, my 9-year-old son, Carter, said he wanted a face that looked like his on a bag. We couldn't find one, and it was because less than 2% of the character backpacks include children of color. So we created a line of characters, a line of 9 different characters, and we are going to donate. All of your kids will have one of our backpacks.
Oh, wait. What? Wait, there's...
And we are also going to give you $20,000.
So, here's what's happening. Latita, you're getting a pantry stocked with groceries, a full kitchen makeover with all of the new appliances, and $70,000 in cash. We say thank you for everything that you do. We thank the volunteers at Little Forest Kids Club, and a big thanks to all of the companies who stepped up to help the kids of Sulphur Springs. Yes. Thanks to Sean Giggity from our Dallas affiliate, WFAA, for bringing us Latita's story. And for more on that story, and you can go to... And
Latita's GoFundMe
campaign. Visit our website. We'll be right back.
Look at this game.
Meet the woman who put all kinds of work into this. This is Robin.
Robin.
She really made all this happen. So this is what we'll tell you. There are wonderful things happening in all communities around the country.
Yeah.
See, find out who's doing what. Maybe you can be helpful. Stories like this require your help. Have a great day. Take a little time to enjoy your view.